What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after he decided to scam his dent yesterday and claim a back injury. And of course, we've heard the back injury before, and it seems to creep up anytime support is extremely low. It's akin to the two big bills that are coming up. And our boy Phil was rocking back and forth on the XY axis, but yet the man has severe debilitating back pain. Not to mention, the other day he contradicted himself where he said he doesn't feel any pain whatsoever. He's so used to the pain. But of course, he needed the money buff yesterday because support has been extremely slow. And he couldn't use the two big bills excuse because we're towards the end of the month. And Phil did receive his YouTube check. So that was out the door. So of course, he decided to go the route of my back. So let's see what Phil had to say.
Alrighty everyone, good evening and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Tuesday, the 29th of August, 2023. We are almost at the beginning of September, if you can believe it, and the busy gaming season is about to begin. What was going on today? Well, first of all, unfortunately this morning, if you can believe it, in the shower, I hurt my neck. I've had sharp shooting pain through my neck all the way down into my upper shoulder all day long. Told everyone the story about it on the podcast if you want to hear it. Sadly, I have a history of this kind of problem in my life. I'll probably have this for the rest of my life. And I was actually nervous at first of how bad it was going to be and if it was going to affect my gameplay today. So I popped an extra strength migraine Advil in the morning to see what would happen. Also on the podcast today, we discussed just some various odds and ends and a lot of Q&A. And it wasn't really too much crazy stuff going on in regards to the schedule or anything or any gaming news. We did discuss my very good performance last night in Street Fighter 6, which went really well. So a pretty typical podcast, if to say the least. It wasn't boring or anything, but pretty much, par for the course of what you can expect. Then we jumped back into Armored Core 6 for only my second session. And this session, a lot of people were anticipating, would be the session I would rage quit the game. Why? Because apparently a large number of content creators who have played previous FromSoft games like Elden Ring decided to play Armored Core 6 because it's also from FromSoft, and they apparently rage quit the game at the point that I played today. First of all, it was fun for me because I just made a new build. I had actually made the Tetrapod, which is the four-legged build, and this not only moves fast but hovers, and the hovering is super duper useful in various different ways. Hovering above enemies, a lot of them can't even really reach you or do much to you. Lots of maneuverability. It was really good. There was invisible enemies today. There were interesting, developments in the game. And then, of course, I did get to it. The boss's name, for anyone who doesn't know, is Balthius. And basically, Balthius is what they call a skill check. What that means is, when you get to that boss, you determine whether or not you're going to keep playing this game or not. Because if you can get good enough to beat the boss, you pretty much are going to get good enough to be able to come up against anything else in the rest of the game. And you're going to have a, challenge, but you're going to persevere. And this is why a lot of people got to this boss and quit. So why is Balthius so tough? Without spoiling, it introduces a whole new gameplay mechanic you don't know yet on the fly. Not only that, he's got unique abilities and attacks you haven't seen before. So you're trying to learn everything on the fly, much like the very first boss fight of the game, which is this giant chopper. It's kind of the same deal. It's a boss that you're not ready for. It's kind of like in a FromSoft game when you're fighting a boss that's not like any other fight you've had before. You got to learn phases. He has multiple phases and stuff. Yes, this boss can melt you if you don't know what you're doing. So I started off with one build, wasn't sure that it was going to work, went to a different build, tried for about 45 minutes, and then someone made a suggestion about why don't you go back to your previous build now that you know the boss patterns. I did, and I one-shotted it after going back to the previous build. So to about an hour, I would say, give or take, maybe a little over an hour, but it wasn't that bad. In FromSoft games.
Okay, so Phil's gonna flex here because he actually didn't rage quit. That's what he's saying. He's flexing here because he didn't rage quit on the game, and he's lying. It took him over 2 hours to actually beat the game. He started playing the game around 3:40, And he got to that boss around 4 o'clock, and he didn't finish, he didn't beat the boss until about 6:10, 6:15. So he was over 2 hours. So I'm not sure exactly what the hell he's talking about, how easy it was. If you watch my video, I clipped all of the times where he was just raging and being pissy. And yeah, okay, he did defeat the boss. I defeated the boss after about 45 minutes of playing the game. I'm also playing the game on PC. I defeated it after 45 minutes. All you have to do is figure out what the pattern is and just defeat the pattern. It's mostly based on the pattern and your build. Once you figure out the right build, then you're fine. It literally took Phil 2 hours. And I love that he's sitting here and trying to flex that he didn't rage quit it. Yeah, Phil, millions of people that are playing it didn't rage quit it, Phil. You may have a couple content creators that decided, okay, this isn't interesting enough, or, you know, they just weren't skilled enough to play the game or just got frustrated and quit it. Okay, how many games have you rage quit in your life? How many, Phil? If you're not too sure, you can go see Secret Unlimited's video that came out a couple months ago, where he showed 100 rage quits, Phil. 100. And I love that you try to shit on people for not being able to beat a boss. You, sir, quit Kirby. You rage quit Kirby, Phil, calling it a Dark Souls game. So you have no room whatsoever to talk about people rage quitting a game. You of all people should shut your trap and not say it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about too was that the money buff had kicked in by then, and it was activated. Dent came in, dropped 50. He was at 60 something dollars. 1 Minute Man came in, dropped another 20, and then some other Dent came in and dropped another $50 dono. So what you notice is that Phil's back suddenly felt so much better. I guess the cure for back pain is a tier 3 tip goal. That will solve your problem. So I think we need to reach out to the AMA, the American Medical Association, and let them know that we finally found the cure for back pain, and that's a tier 3 tip goal. You get a vest on and you're set. A vest and $150 and your back pain goes away. Fuck all that $10,000-$20,000 in surgery. Nah, pimp, you give somebody $150 in a vest and they'll be straight legit. By the way, Steve of the Dead, if you're watching this, let me know. You should do the stream. I'll make sure to give you the tier 3 tip goal, and as long as you wear a vest, your back pain will be all better, my brother.
Typically, bosses can be tough. There's been many bosses in Soulsborne games that have taken me longer than that. There's been entire streams of me fighting bosses. So an hour is not a big deal for me. You know, I fight the boss, like, okay, it was challenging. It was a little cheap because of the maneuverability of the boss. But overall, you try to attack it, you find its weaknesses, you learn its patterns, you get further and further until you finally persevere. I did. No big deal. And on top of that, I was dressed as Bender from Futurama when I did it. If you don't believe me, watch the video. I'll be honest, I don't know how anyone who has played a FromSoft game previous would rage quit on that, unless they just don't like mech games. I'm at a loss. It wasn't that hard at all to me, you know. I've been there, done that with these games, so I'm used to that kind of a skill check. So I had a good time, and then we had another hour where we even upgraded even further. I ended up getting more new guns, like double Gatling guns and stuff like that. End of the stream, I even kind of turboed through a final story stage, and there was another unique boss at the end of that. That was neat. So I had a good time. 6 hours into Armored Core 6, I like the game. People are saying that the game is basically around 15 to 20 hours long. If you're just focusing on story, that is, if you're not doing like tons of optional content and stuff that I guess will open up at one point. But I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying myself. The stream viewers seem to like it. There was amazing support for today's stream, so I'm happy, and I will continue playing the game. You know, I have no problems doing that. I'm really having a good time with it, honestly. I actually think it's a pretty darn good game. You know, plot ain't great, but the gameplay elements are good. So, there you go. Tonight's late stream was Chrono Trigger.
I let that play out a little bit because I wanted to show you Phil's range of motion and how the tier 3 tip goal healed him miraculously. That's right, folks. This whole video, you see him going back and forth. You see him turning his neck back and forth. You see him moving his arms. I suffer from back pain. I've had 4 herniated discs. I've had, you know, I've suffered it. I suffered through it for many years, to the point where I had about 5 years where it was just really bad. It was debilitating. And I had physical therapy, I had a couple procedures done, and my back's good. But occasionally it flares up, and it needs medication strong medication to heal it up, but it's not that often where I need it, so I understand back pain. When you get a herniated disc flaring up, Phil, it's debilitating. I don't care how mild it is or it's not. Back pain hurts. And you sitting here moving back and forth the way you do just tells me that nothing is wrong with you. Nothing at all was wrong. I'm not going to say that you don't have back pain. I think you've had back pain and you know, the record does show that you have it. But to sit here and say that you're and the funny thing is that you change your story. It was back pain, then it was your neck, then it was your shoulder. Then you started talking about you had a migraine at one certain point, Phil. It just seemed that you changed your story up again. And the other thing too is that you took Advil. You take Advil every 4 hours with a max dosage of 4 a day. That's Advil. That's Advil. I'm not sure whatever this Advil that you're talking about, you take it once and it's only good for 24 hours and you can't take it more than that. I have no clue what you're talking about there with when it comes to over-the-counter medicine. Advil and Tylenol, you're supposed to take it every 4 hours. So yeah, that again, it's just more that it's just more of a story that doesn't make any sense. If you guys want, go to your medicine cabinet, pull out your ibuprofen, pull out your Advil, and on it will specifically say take it every 4 hours or as needed, you know, based on pain or as directed by your doctor. Right? That's what it says, Phil. But of course, you have to have this different medication. That's, of course, over the counter, but for some odd reason, you can only take it once every 24 hours. Okay, Phil, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what pharmacy you're going to, but okay. So let's keep going here.
And the cool thing about it was tonight was the first time that Chro-No Trigger actually opened up a bit. And what I mean by that is up until this point, what you did was kind of linear. There was only one point in the game where we had done some side stuff to get some optional items. Outside of that, it's all like you got to just go across this one path. Well, now the game has opened up to the point where there is fun optional stuff that you can do. We got a cool new party member. We ended up traveling around and doing multiple optional quest lines today. Got a bunch of really good items. It was fun. I had a great time with it. And I can't wait to play more because this is, in my opinion, one of the best parts, if not the best part of the game, because you're enjoying all this cool optional content that has opened up. The other cool thing is that a lot of your characters get these kind of, you know, in other RPGs, they're called companion quests, where you'll do a quest line that's related simply for one character, and you go through it, and then you get kind of a resolution to their plot line, or you learn more about them as a backstory. Maybe they become more powerful during the process of the quest. Those kind of originated in a game like Chrono Trigger, and we did one of them, two of them tonight, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, we did 2 of those optional quests tonight, and 2 characters got their kind of epilogues, which is nice. And now we're doing more of them. So I had a great time, and again, support for a late night stream was pretty good. Overall today, we came back after 2 slower days. Tons of support today. So thank you to everyone who attended and supported my streams. If you watch those videos, enjoy. Please, if you're having a good time with them, please like them. Please leave comments on them. Please consider contributing in some way. I really had a great time today, and I'm looking forward to more Chrono Trigger this weekend. Now, what about my shoulder? It still fucking hurts bad. Like, oh my god, just right there, I touch it. It's shooting pain, man. It sucks. I really must have pinched this nerve really bad this morning in the shower. I hope it gets better overnight. I don't want to have this pain all week, especially I'm nervous about it for tomorrow night for Street Fighter. Luckily for me, it didn't really affect the gameplay. Once I started playing today, I kind of distracted myself from the pain. Didn't really think about it. And ended up having 2 really good streams. But obviously, I hope I don't exacerbate it in my sleep tonight, and I hope that it doesn't affect Street Fighter tomorrow night. Speaking
Of course, Phil needs to make sure that he keeps the money buff available for today, just in case support is slow yet again. The Chro-No Tipper was a dead stream. I have no clue what the hell he was talking about. He made 20-something bucks in tips. And the only other thing he got was, I think, OIC came in and dropped some memberships. That's about it. And I'm pretty sure your memberships are going to drop back down again to under 500 because you're expected to lose a bunch this week, Phil. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the back pain. I'm not buying the pinched nerve. A pinched nerve is something very hard, and especially if the way Phil is describing it, it sounds like it's a nerve that's shooting pain down his arm. That's not something that just goes away. It's not something that you forget. When it happens, it hurts for several days until you get some relief. It's not something where you just sit there and you do more activities and you forget about it. No, the more activities you do, the more pain occurs. Usually the best solution for this type of injury or whatever is rest, not playing video games, Phil. And it's just outstanding that Phil is the only man, right, with no job that gets injured sitting playing video games. That's right, folks. Phil is the only person out there without a job who gets injured playing video games, folks. Anyway, I expect Phil to complain about the plane flaring up, especially if the tips are slow for GTA, which I'm expecting. It just seems to be a running theme with Phil, where he gets one good day of support and then the next 2 or 3 are just terrible. He'll use that, plus he'll use, oh, it's my final stream. I need money for my day off. Can you guys support? But you know, we'll see. It should be a lot of fun today. The cope should be a lot of fun, and I really want to see if Phil uses the BackPain again. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.